Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.
How you doing? Hey everybody, what's going on? How you doing? What's everybody up to? There we go. Getting everything situated here. Give me 1 second. Can you hear me okay, Zach? There we go. Get all my notes ready. What is going on? Weird, where is my chat? Hold on 1 second, guys. Having a little technical difficulties. Let me try to bring this up again. Hopefully. We're getting there. We're getting there. What is going on? Trying to figure it out. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. The Monday gremlins are here with me. Come on now. There we go. Ones are Okay, hopefully that works. Hopefully. Hey, Zach, can you hear me okay? Is everything working right? Am I buffering or anything? That works. Let me get this off of there and hopefully that'll work. I'm doing good. How you doing? Doing good there? That's good to hear. So, for some reason, I don't know what the hell's going on, but my chat's not working right, but it's okay. I pulled up YouTube's chat, so everything should be good now. So, let's go ahead and, okay, apparently everything is going well. I'm not getting any, you know, slowish thing going on. So, I thought today we'd do some Mandela fun. Zach, do you know what the Mandela effect is? I think you do. I think you brought it up at one point in time. If not, I'll go ahead and explain it. For people that don't know what the Mandela effect is, you ever look at something and then it seems different, it doesn't seem right? Fiona Broome came up with this whole Mandela effect type of thing. It's hot. Ooh, it's pretty chilly here today. Gonna be a hot one, huh? Well, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. It really does. I'd rather be cold. That way you can cover up. There's only so many layers of clothes you can take off in the summertime, right? So, anyway, Fiona Broome, she's the one that came up with the term Mandela effect because everybody thought Mandela's death was back in the 80s and he didn't die until I'm not even sure when, but it was yeah, exactly. When it's where we learn one thing, yeah. So the weird thing about it is many of us, mostly total strangers, um, remember the exact same events with almost identical details. However, our memories are different for what's in the history books, newspaper, archives, or so on, right? And this isn't a conspiracy. We're not talking about false memories. Um, some will speculate that, parallel realities exist, and until now we've been sliding between them without realizing it. Others have a different opinion, but there's no one size fits all kind of answer to Mandela effect. We don't know what the hell's going on, and things are weird. And now, in my, I mean, I've always been interested in the Mandela effect and everything, but I've had a Mandela effect go back to normal type thing. And I'll explain that. It's in my list of things going on. Um, but yeah, so like usually we can see the remnants of, the past Mandela effect. Like we remember one thing and we can search it out, and sometimes we find residence out or residue of it to where we find what we remember, but the new version is different. Um, so which is really cool. Weird, but cool. So yeah, in my experience, I've dealt with a couple Mandela effects. Um, and well, I've dealt with a lot of Mandela effects, I will say that. But even going through and researching last night and getting everything ready for today, I've had a few more that I was like, hell no, that's not the way it was. And me and my husband actually got into a big discussion on a couple of them. It's been really, really so let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna wait. I had some fun planned. If more people come in the room, we'll play the Mandela quiz and see what you guys remember. And of course, I want your guys' view and your take on this. So the first one, yeah, I've never had a slide back, and then it goes back to what I remember. And I got it in the list here that I'm gonna pull up. So the first one that I was gonna bring up was everybody remembers. Let me go ahead and pull this up. So everybody remembers I Love Lucy. Well, hopefully everybody remembers I Love Lucy, right? I say, Ricky was like, Lucy, you got some splaining to do. Well, apparently that was never ever said, but yet we remember it. We remember that. But that was never ever said in any of. Now he said he's told Lucy to explain herself or start explaining, but he never said, Lucy, you got explaining to do. That one was a big one for me. Just because I was a big I Love Lucy fan, as most of us are. And it was just crazy. Yeah, exactly, Zach. You have some explaining to do. No. So another one that got me was Interview with a Vampire. Whoop. Now don't be going back there. Go back. Hold on. Let's go ahead and get this. Interview with a Vampire. It was never Interview with a Vampire. It was Interview with the Vampire. What do you remember? I remember Interview with a Vampire. I thought that was a weird one. So another one, obviously right there, is the whiteout. Whiteout was never spelt with an H, White. Seems pretty ironic that a brand advertising to fix your mistakes has a clear misspelling in its product, right? Yeah, so in reality, whiteout is Wite out. Pretty weird, if you ask me. So, question. Who is this guy? Yeah, Interview with a Vampire. Yep, me too. I remember that. So who is this guy? We know it's Smokey. Do you know he's never, like, I remember him as Smokey the Bear, right? I remember him as Smokey the Bear. His name is just Smokey Bear. How is that even possible? He was, through my childhood, we all, and I'm sure yours too, we all saw the commercial with Smokey the Bear. No, he's just Smokey Bear. And I kind of noticed that there's been commercials in the last year that have come on about Smokey the Bear, but they always said Smokey Bear, and I thought that was very weird until I found this Mandela effect. And I've never known him as Smokey Bear. I've always known him as Smokey the Bear. The explanation for this Mandela effect is the bear's actual name differs from the 1952 Steve Nelson and Jack Rowland song, which calls him Smokey the Bear. Yeah, I know. I thought so too. I don't remember him not having a shirt on or something. Even suspenders? Was it suspenders? I don't know. I can't remember. But that's their explanation for this Smokey the Bear. But I wasn't alive back then, 1952. I don't even think I heard that song, Smokey the Bear. So I don't know. To me, that's crazy. It's always been Smokey the Bear. And here they're telling me, no, it's Smokey Bear. We all grew up with this guy. But yeah, didn't he have suspenders or something on, if I can remember right? So I've never used this, but I know a lot of people who have. Hey Patrick, how you doing, hon? I never used these in school, but I did know people that did, and just because I never, I don't know, I didn't know cheap back then, I guess. Do you remember these booklets, Cliff Notes, right? Cliff Notes, right? Apparently in this timeline, it is Cliff's Notes with an F. I don't remember it ever having an F on it. That's cool, Patrick. Yeah, yeah. I've known about the Mandela effect for a long time, but I just think it's cool when I hear new ones. So I thought I'd share with everybody. But yeah, so even going through, did you remember Yellow Notes, Zach? Or so it says the tool most of us used for every book report ever written was called Cliff Notes. Apparently not. No, Cliff's Notes. This makes sense considering creator's name was Clifton, but we can't help but think it just sounds wrong. I don't ever remember saying Cliff's Notes. I remember Cliff Notes. But we're not the only ones. Even Wikipedia, or Wikipedia, whatever you want to call it, addresses the common misconception that the study guides are called Cliff Notes. So yeah, to me that was a weird one. The next one I got is daylight savings time. Do you remember as a daylight savings time? Or do you remember daylight saving time? I could have swore savings or saving had an S on it. I've never called it daylight saving time. I've always called it daylight savings time, but it was never that way. It was never ever daylight savings time. I mean, it sounds correct, daylight saving time. I mean, it makes sense, but I just remember it with an S. This next one was a big one for me. Why do I keep hearing people outside my window? Not talking, but doing something. I don't know. Anyway, this next one got me big time because I remember seeing all the commercials all the time. Febreze. Yes, exactly, Patrick. Exactly. Yep, Looney Tunes being Looney Tunes. Yeah, exactly. I know, it's crazy. Stuff like that is so crazy. Febreze to me has always been breeze at the end. Breeze with two E's. Was it the same for you guys, or do you remember this version with the Febreze? So yeah, it just doesn't look right to me, at least, because I'm used to the other way with one E. Really, Patrick? Isn't that wild when you come to realize what it is and how many people are talking about it? It's pretty cool that to know that you're not alone. It kind of gives you some sort of validation, that you're not the only one. You're okay, you remember it with the double E? And this one got my husband last night, okay? Where he's like, I'm wearing them, I'll look. Right? He didn't believe me. Skechers. Now, I don't know about you. I've never really worn Skechers. I mean, I've had like one or two pair, but I've never. But I specifically remember Skechers because my kids had them being with a T. Yeah, exactly, Patrick. That's another one. Jif, yeah. I remember Skechers being with a T. So Sketchers, right? And my husband, when I was going through this, I'm like, do you remember Skechers not having a T? He's like, I'm wearing them right now. He takes off his shoes. He goes, I'll be a son of a bitch because there was no T. But I swear to God, there was a T. It does that to you, Zach. It does make you think you're losing your mind. It really does. This next one, yeah, Jiffy was a big one. Jif and Jiffy. See, I think my analyzation of Jif and Jiffy is I think somehow Skippy and Jiffy got mixed into my head somehow. I mean, that I'm not saying that's your case. You know what I mean? That you remember Jiffy. I totally believe that you remember just Jiffy. But I thought that was just me messing my head messing up. Because it tends to do that every once in a while. Okay, so remember staying home at night or staying home during the day, skipping school or being sick or whatnot. We all watched Judge Judy, right? And I can remember specifically her banging that gavel, always had that gavel. So it says staying home sick from school was worth it if you could flip on Judge Judy and see her berate the defendants. Many remember her maintaining order in court by swinging her gavel against the podium. However, not once did she ever have a gavel. Not once in its 21 seasons will you see the popular judge with a gavel. Oh, see, well there you go, Patrick. I can't disprove your theory then. Not that I would, because I truly, yeah. So there you go. Yeah, I don't know when Skippy was here either. That's a good question. Maybe it's the Mandela effect of me remembering Jiffy, then trying to cover it up with Skippy when Skippy wasn't even around then. See? I'll have to check that out. I'm sure I will go research it. But yeah, Judge Judy never used a gavel. But I can remember her ordering the court with that gavel. To me, that's just, it's crazy. It's crazy, crazy. Now, this next one. This is where I was talking about that it switched back for me. Okay. And I've never had this happen as long as I've been studying Mandela effects, which is a long time, right? Well, not really studying them, but finding new ones and going, oh crap, yeah, that's right. This one switched back for me. And it's the Fruit Loops one. This, it was crazy to me. Well, that's funny that you bring that up, Patrick, because of the fact that I just discussed this with my husband last night, that I wished I paid attention to geography more, because I heard about the whole New Zealand thing and stuff like that, how people said that that's changed places and stuff like that. I really wish that I paid attention more on geography and that. If I knew the continents better, I probably would find a lot of things in there, but I just don't know it well enough to, unless something, like China and Europe like switch places or something like that. That would obviously I'd notice that. But Fruit Loops. So Fruit Loops, I remember as a kid being FROOT with the Fruit Loops, right? And then it switched to Fruit Loops, the correct spelling of fruit. And I'm like, and I remember saying to myself, how the hell, or when the hell did they change that? I remember specifically seeing a commercial and going, actually, I don't even think it was a commercial. I think I bought a box of Fruit Loops and it was the FRUIT. And now it's back to the fruit. That screws you up big time when it flips back like that, because it's, um, see, now you remember it as the fruit, FRUIT. See, growing up, I remember it being FROOT. And then it went to fruit, the normal spelling, the FRUIT. I remember buying a box and going, when the hell did they change it? And now it's back to the FROOT. It screws, I'm telling you right now, it's my head is screwed up from that. It really is. And the two biggest one, because I'm Star Wars fan, this screwed me up big time with C3PO. I do not remember him having a silver part of his leg. So much, in fact, that I started watching the newer ones. I think, which one was it that I noticed it? Rogue One, I believe that was the movie. That I go, when did they change his leg? What happened to his leg? And I brought this up before because it messed with me so bad. I was like, when did he get? What happened to his leg? I don't remember anything happening to his leg in the last movie. I don't remember. And all of a sudden it's silver. I went back and looked at the old movies, and it's always been silver, and it wasn't that way when I was growing up. I had the toys, I had the Falcon, I had everything, and he never had a damn silver leg, and it kind of makes me wish that I had my toys from back when, because he never had a silver leg. He was all gold. And I will fight that one tooth and nail. Exactly, Patrick. That thing mind boggled me so much. I'm like, I had all the toys, but if you go back and watch the movies over again, the old movies with like Luke Skywalker and all that, he had a silver leg in those movies. Not to my recollection. He always had a gold. And like I said, I just remember sitting there watching the movie going, what happened to his leg? It's crazy. And then the last one, of course, from, yeah, that's exactly what I was bringing up. Exactly. Darth Vader did say, Luke, I am your father. Now they're saying it said, no, I am your father. Exactly. Me too. Me too, Patrick. Me too. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, next in line, I have a question for you guys. How do you spell Santa Claus? I know how I spell Santa Claus. How do you guys spell Santa Claus? And I'm not talking about St. Nick. I mean, I am talking about St. Nick, but I want Santa Claus. Because the last time I checked, I remember spelling Santa Claus, well, at least Claus, with Clause. See, Patrick, you remember it without the E. I don't. I remember it with the E. I do not remember it without the E. So I have a question for you. I'm going to put this in chat. Oh, really? You're going to fault me for two? Let's see. I'm going to put this in, and I want you to fill in the blank. So the children were nestled, all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled for a long winter's nap. What goes in that space? Do you remember this? 'Twas the night before Christmas. There it is again. The children were nestled, all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled for a long winter's nap. Okay, Patrick, you got down. Zach, do you remember us? It's not down anymore. The children were nestled all snug in their bed while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads, and Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. I do never, ever, ever remember it being our brains. Ever. Has it ever? I know it's always been settled down for a long winter's nap. But if you look at the ultimate version, not a rewrite, not a, if you go search it, you will find had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. Crazy, right? Crazy. Here's another Christmas one. You fill in the blank. It was the night before. Yeah, exactly. You got it. It was the night before Christmas. Yep. Here's another one for you. Fill in the blank. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen. On Comet, on Cupid, on. You tell me. I always knew it is now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, right? Nope. That would be Dunder and Blixen. Dunder and Blixen. Where the hell did that come from? Pretty freaking messed up, right? But I heard him explain as he drove out of sight, blank Christmas to all, and to all a good night. What would fit in there? That 56 doesn't fit in there. I don't know where the hell that came from. But I heard him explain as he drove out of sight, blank Christmas to all, and to all a good night. It's Happy Christmas, not Merry Christmas. We have a couple more Christmas ones here. Yes, Donner and Blitzen. Nope. Dunder and Blixen. If you go back to the very first yet and look up "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," that's what you're going to find. I remember Merry Christmas too, Patrick. Yep. I remember Merry Christmas too. As I heard him explain as he drove out of sight, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. It's crazy, right, Zach? It's crazy. So we all know, on the first day of Christmas, my true love, to me, a partridge in a pear tree. What goes in that dash? On the first day of Christmas, my true love, to me, a partridge in a pear tree. What do you guys think goes in there? I know what I think. I know what I remember. Nope, it's scent. On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me. The timeline has changed. Crazy, right? Now, the last one is one of my all-time favorite songs, and it totally changed for me. Do you remember the Up on the Reindeer paws, out jumps good old Santa Claus, right? Now I have a choice. Is it rooftop or housetop? I know what I remember. I remember rooftop. Yes, Patrick, thank you. I remember rooftop. Some people say, well, apparently the timeline's changed. It is now housetop. Up on the housetop. That don't sound right. Up on the rooftop. Reindeer paws, out jumps good old Santa Claus, right? Now, the ending of the song, and I'm going to keep the housetop in there because that's what it is right now. Up on the housetop, click, 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 down through the chimney with Saint Nick. What's that one? What's fill in the blank? Yep, Zach, it's crazy, right? All these changes. Excuse me. Nope, it is now changed to Good Saint Nick. So it's up on the housetop, click, 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 down through the chimney with Good Saint Nick. Don't sound right, does it? Totally nuts to me. Totally nuts. So I thought it would be fun because I know it's crazy. It's crazy, right? So I figured we'd take a little quiz. I know, Patrick, it's crazy. I know. So let's take a Mandela effect quiz and see how wrong we are. Which one is right to you guys? Mr. Monopoly 1 or Mr. Monopoly 2? Let me make sure this is showing up okay. Okay. Let's see how good we are. What would you guys want me to pick? With a monocle or without a monocle? There's no wrong answer because if you remember, you remember. You remember what you remember. That's not right. 1. Okay, Patrick says 1. What do you say, Zach? Yeah, with the monocle. Yeah, that's what I remember too. All right, we'll go ahead and pick that one. Wrong. I know most of these, what the answers are supposed to be, but that's what I would pick, the monocle. That's what I remember. Nope, he never had a monocle in this timeline. He never had a monocle in this timeline. There's your favorite, Patrick. Okay, I was wondering why it was yellow. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Which one do we pick? Which one do you remember? Looney Tunes, as in tune your instruments, or Looney Tunes, as in cartoons? Right. Yeah, see, Zach, no monocle. No monocle. Number 2, yes, that's what I remember too, because it made sense. Looney Tunes, okay, I know they really didn't sing, so why the hell would tunes be in there? Looney Tunes, like the Toons, as in cartoons, makes sense. And of course, we're wrong. It's Looney Tunes with the Tunes. To me, that's totally crazy. And then, of course, we know the Fruit Loops. Which switched back for me. That was weird. I've never had one of the Mandela effects for me, and that's Fruit Loops did for me. Like I said, I remember it being when I was younger, being with the OOT, and then it switched to the fruit, the correct spelling of fruit, and then all of a sudden it was back to the OOT. So it was crazy. I remember sitting there going, when they changed it to the fruit, the correct spelling. All right, let's see. Which one's this one? The Pringles. Did that load right? Oh shit, I didn't want to do that. That's not what I wanted. Sorry guys, that was my bad. That's the one I remember anyway, but do you guys remember the other one? Do you remember the skinnier version or the fatter version? Well, the skinnier version is the one to go for. Yeah, that's the one I remember too. Okay. Let's see what's next. Everything's got so many ads. Hey Carrie, how you doing? We're doing a Mandela test, Mandela effect test. If you know what a Mandela effect is, it's where you recall something that's been changed, or you thought maybe a marketing somebody changed, but it hasn't. This is a Starbucks symbol. Which one do you remember? Number 1. I don't. Can you guys see my mouse? No, you can't. Number 1 in the yellow, or number 2? Number 1 is on the left, number 2 is on the right. Patrick, do you remember number 1? That's the one I remember too, and hopefully it's correct because number 2, isn't that Ariel? Isn't it, I noticed this when I was going through this. Isn't that Ariel with the Sebastian on top of her head? I don't ever remember Starbucks doing that. Unless they had a special or something. But yes, we're right with Starbucks. I don't even drink Starbucks, and I knew that. All right, Curious George, did he have a tail or did he not have a tail? Do you remember him with a tail or do you remember him not with a tail? Good to hear, Carrie. I'm glad you're doing good. That's awesome. You remember him with a tail, Zach? So Zach remembers him with a tail. Patrick remembers him with a tail. And Carrie, you don't remember him with a tail? Okay, since the minority is number 1, we'll go with number 1. Nope, you were right, Carrie. He didn't have a tail. He's never had a tail. I do remember him with a tail, but, what can I say? It's crazy when you sit there and, when you remember your memories and they're wrong. Okay, which one's the KFC? I think that's the KFC as soon as my screen decides to scroll down. So many advertisements on this page. Yeah, Carrie. She's like, yes. Yes, Patrick, mine too. I so know what you mean. So, KFC. Yeah, me too, Carrie. I used to love reading them to my kids. The KFC guy, do you remember him as KFC on the left or number 2 on the right? Zach says number 2. I remember number 1. Yeah. I remember number 1. I don't ever, but apparently it's a Mandela effect. Some people remember number 2. Dun dun dun. That is correct. Number 1. KFC's guy is number 1. Yeah, I don't. Apparently, some remember him being chunkier. I guess he got into the Coca or the Coca Cola. I said the Coca Cola because they came up. He got into the chicken apparently for some. Coca Cola. Which one do you remember? Do you remember it with a hyphen or without a hyphen? What do you guys think? Number 2? We have one for number 2. Patrick with number 2. Without the hyphen, so we got 1 for 1. Zach, what do you think? Coca-Cola with the hyphen or without the hyphen? I remember it with the hyphen. I do remember it with the hyphen. Carrie. Okay, so we had 2 and 2. It always had a hyphen. It never didn't have a hyphen. I'm close. I'm going to be, what the hell am I going to be? 46 this year? Yeah. I'm going to be 46 this year. So Carrie and Zach, it never had a hyphen. Or I mean, it always had a hyphen. Wow. See, Mandela's working its way to me. This is so my Monday. I never have a Monday on a Monday, but today is. Some of you guys might not know what this is, but J.C. Penney was a store. I don't know. Did you guys do you guys remember J.C. Penney? Yeah, young pup. I tell my body that because it didn't get the memo. Do you remember J.C. Penney with an E or without an E? If you guys know J.C. Penney stores. I grew up with a J.C. Penney right in our. I know, it's wild, right? It's wild finding out that everything. My husband, when we were talking about this last night, he's like, he goes, I go through school, I graduate. He goes, I get, older. I'm thinking, damn, I'm smart. I get to 40 and everything's a lie. So what do you guys think? With an E or without an E at the end? With an E? Yeah. Carrie. Welcome to my world every day. Crazy, right? Patrick, I remember it with an E too. I really do. And like I said, I grew up in a town that it had J.C. Penney in there. And I remember it was an E. And that's correct. Thank God. I actually thought it was wrong. Okay. You think Eva would have, so he's wrong. Tell him he's wrong. I thought I was wrong. Okay, let's see. What's this one? Kind of scared to let. Now I'm getting scared of these. Oh, you all know my answer on this. Well, at least Patrick and Zach do. Which one is the right Febreze? Dang it. With 2 E's or 1 E? The first one. That's the way I remember it. Me too. I used to live next to a J.C. Penney too, but I thought I was wrong. but I was right. I remember it with 2 E's. Febreze. I remember JCPenney with 2 E's too. That's why I love doing these things. I think it's cool to see what we remember and what we don't remember and what's been screwed up by the Mandela effect. Having so much fun with you guys. One. Okay, so that's 3 for 1, 4 for 1. You ready for this? What's OG say? Does he believe it's 2 E's or 1? We're all wrong. Unless he picks number 2. We are all wrong. I always remember it with 2 Z's or 2 E's. Jesus. See? My Monday. It's crazy. Yep, so Febreze only has 1 E in it, and it's always had 1 E in it. So we're all wrong. Now, I don't eat at Hardee's. I've never eaten at Hardee's, but if you guys want to take a stab at that, I don't know. I think I know. Right, Carrie? It's crazy, right? I know. I always remember Febreze with 2 E's, damn it. With Hardee's, though, I don't know. I think it's 1, but I'm not sure. I have never ate there, so I don't know. I didn't have a Hardee's around me in New York, and I don't have a Hardee's around me in Alaska. So, so maybe you guys know the right one, or at least you think you know the number 1. That's what I was thinking too, but I'm not sure. I couldn't make a good judgment on that. Yeah, I just never. Okay, we'll go with 1. Apparently, we were right. That's good. That's good. Okay, next one, the Berenstain Bears. How do you remember? I love how they put Berenstain Bears and the truth. Yeah, and the truth, all right. So the Berenstain Bears, how do you remember the Berenstain being spelled? Was it Staien or Stein? Did you, Patrick? Yeah, I've never been to a Hardee's restaurant. I mean, I hear they're good, but I've never been around them, so I don't know. So was Berenstain Bears spelled Stain? 1 or Stein? I remember number 2. I'll just put that out there just because I remember as a kid, well, yeah, as a kid, reading the book. All right, guys, you guys take care. Thank you so much for stopping in, hon. Thank you. Be safe. I remember looking at the Berenstain Bears. I was very particular, especially when I was reading to somebody else. And I remember as a kid, I don't know, my mom was babysitting somebody or something. but they had the Berenstain Bears books, and I used to love the cartoon. But I remember wondering how to say their name. I couldn't remember, or I couldn't pronounce their name because I thought it was Berenstein, as a Stein cup. Um, but we'll go with you, Patrick. We'll go one. Let's see. I can't remember. That's right. Yeah. See, I remember it being. I had a hard time pronouncing Berenstein because I didn't know. I didn't know how to say it. If that makes sense. So you were right. You were right. It's always been Stain. Good job. Good job. Okay. Oscar Mayer. Which one do you remember? Is it Oscar? My baloney has a second name. Meyer? Or was it Mayer? If you ask me every day. Or I forgot how it goes. If you ask me, say. Oscar Mayer has a way with BOLGNA. I totally messed that up, but Do you remember Oscar Mayer being with an E or an A? See, I remember both. It's hard for me to with this one because I can. You're right. Oh, you meant the Stein, Stein? Oh, my bad. Yeah, I remember. See, I remember. I can hear myself spelling it both ways. That's what sucks about this. So I don't know about this one. I mean, I know which one is right. Yeah, the Mayer. Because a lot of people, my husband was the same way. He was like, I don't remember the A being there. I'm Meyer. But I do remember spelling it that way at one point. Could be another one that flipped back for me, and I just never realized it. I don't know. But I remember I can hear myself singing both ways. Because, we all sang that song. Okay, the program. I never watched this, but was it Sex in the City or Sex and the City? I never watched this, but I know which one I think it is. I always thought it was Sex in the City. Yeah, me too. Yep. Nope, it was Sex and the City. To me that don't even make sense. To me that means I don't know. It don't make sense to me. Why would you name something Sex and the City? You know? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. All right, I'm going to do this one more time and one last one, Little Caesars. The left-hand guy or the right-hand guy? I'm going to go with number 2. I don't remember him being pudgy, but I could be wrong. I never eat there either. Right? Exactly, Patrick. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Yeah, I never watched that, but I mean, it just don't make sense to me. It don't make sense at all. Number two, yeah, that's what I thought too. I don't remember him being pudgy, but of course I could be wrong. Oh, we were right. We were right. Number two. Okay, one more. That's another one I don't eat at. I don't Chick-fil-A, I have no clue. Do you have any clue, Patrick? I don't even know what the Oh, okay, Chick. With a K or without the K? I think it's without the K. That don't look right to me. And that's a fairly new like restaurant, isn't it? I mean not new, like not this year new, but I mean number one. All right, we'll go with number one. Let's see. Oh, you're right. You're right. I don't know. With the K, it doesn't look right to me. Apparently, why is that still on there? Okay, there we go. That was really fun, though. I like that. It was. It's funny how that works. So, what's your take on the Mandela effect, Patrick? What do you think? What do you think? What's going on? Is the timeline changing, or do you think that we're just having false memories, or what do you think? You won. I think you got the most of it. You won. Do, 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 do. I know. I think I'm gonna find some more stuff to do like that. I think that is. I had a ball doing this. I got blown away by it. It's very fun to me. Definitely. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I definitely will search for some more. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna search for some more quizzes like that with the Mandela effect and other things and stuff. I think yeah, I had a great time doing it. It's fun. It was very fun. I thank you guys for so much for stopping in. And yeah, it's been fun. Yeah, I think so too, Patrick. I think we're going through dimensional shifts. Yeah, I really do. And I think what's happening is like we never realized it before until like different things got discovered by either our scientists or our brilliant minds or just people coming up with stuff. I really feel that. And it's not something we thought about before or could be possible. But with different things coming into light from our scientists and stuff like that, we're kind of thinking differently. We're thinking with a broader spectrum of things, if that makes sense. I really truly believe that. This is not the planet I was born on. Yeah, things are too different. So it's not done. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. You're right. This isn't the planet that like we were born on. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Um, yeah, there's definitely too many things different. Um, I chalked it up like with the whole like sun rising, like people are saying that they're seeing the sun rise in different areas and the moon rising in different areas. See, I can't really because I mean, I've only been up here 3 years and it's totally different from where I lived in New York, obviously, because I'm on different coasts. Um, Not that it has changed or anything, but I'm like, I do sometimes wonder going, like, look at the sun and be like, why is it there at this time of day? But then I got to take into effect that I'm used to being grown up in New York. Yes, that's another one. The sun being white. Yes, I see that more and more. There are some days that it is yellow, but you're right, it's more white. I mean, that's to me that can be factually or scientifically explained just because we don't know what the sun's all about internally, if that makes sense. Um, so a lot of things could be changing within the sun. I've always had the theory, and it sounds weird, but I always had this theory of like with how everything's lined up in our solar system, um, that we're going to become like the second planet from the sun, and then the first planet, and obviously we're going to die. But I think it all goes down in a line somehow, and I don't know why. But I've always thought that since childhood. Yeah, I did read yesterday, or I heard yesterday that like the moon is off by 38 degrees or something like that. Don't know that. But when I was going through the researching the Mandela effect and trying to find some new ones for people in that, um, somebody had said, I don't know if you follow this channel, but there's a channel called, if you like Mandela effect, they have Mandela Mondays and they're just really cool people to listen to. I usually have them on in the background. Um, but if you want to check him out, the channel's name is Scarab Nation, or no, damn it, I keep saying it, Scarab Performance. And I watch his stream all the time. I have for a long time, and it's very cool. Um, he's just got a mellow voice that you can listen to all night, at least for me. Um, but yeah, I think it was his video that I saw that the moon was off by 38 degrees. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Um, but yeah, stuff like that's happening all the time. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to watch, but yet it's pretty scary because you don't know what the hell's going on. And I'm glad I'm not going nuts when I thought the sun was rising in a different place. You just validated me. I thank you, Patrick, so much. But like I said, when I sit there and think things like that, I'm thinking, well, can I really, maybe it looks different here. You know what I mean? I don't have there goes did you see that? It blanks out and I don't know what the hell that is, even with a different camera. But like I said, I don't know if it's from like living here and being in a different place. I don't have all the technological pieces to figure out where the sun is or the moon is, not with apps on the phone or anything like that, but like scientifically, if that makes sense. But Patrick, I thank you so much for tagging along and keeping to the end. And I appreciate you watching. Zach, thanks for stopping in. Carrie and OG, thank you so much for stopping in. You guys are awesome. And yeah, come join me tomorrow for uh, what is tomorrow? Tuesday? Coffee and cards. Coffee and cards. And see what's going on. We'll chit chat and everything like that. And I hope you have a great day. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get some lunch. It's 11:22. Get some lunch and have fun. Somebody just pointed, what was I watching last night before I go? I've never heard of the Labrador Sea. So they changed it from Labrador Strait to Labrador Sea. That's crazy. That's crazy. Considering you've lived there all your life and you've never heard of that, that's nuts. See, it's stuff like that that's like really mind-boggling. What was that other one? Like somebody had said in a video about an island, and it's off of the east coast of Canada, that he's never heard of before. I can't remember what the name of the island was, but I was watching it and I wanted to do some more research on it. But an island that he's never heard of before, and people's lived there for thousands of years, apparently. Who knows? But okay, Patrick. Yes, I got to get out of here. I'm going to keep rambling. You know how I do. But thank you so much, hon, for joining me, and I appreciate it so much. Take care, everybody. Hope you have a great day. If you have any Mandela effects, definitely put them down in the comments. I'd love to hear them, the ones that we haven't discussed here today. And I will talk to you all soon. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the